Hey everybody, it's Brooke with The Buttered Home and welcome to my messy kitchen. Today we are going to be sharing with you one of Big D's favorite dishes that I make in my Instant Pot, and we cannot wait to get started. We're going to show you how to get the most flavorful, delicious cheese grits using your trusty electric pressure cooker. So, little less talk, a lot more action. Let's get started. Okay, so we've got our Instant Pot set on saute and we are allowing it to heat up. So anytime you use the saute function in your Instant Pot, it's always best to let it heat up for a minute before you add anything that you're cooking with. So right now we're going to add in about 2 tablespoons of bacon grease. Well, and I knew that was going to happen. My lid came off. Well, thankfully I didn't have any more in there than that so that it wouldn't just go, that I wouldn't get too much. But really, is there such thing as too much bacon grease? Honestly. So we're just going to let that melt down. And it has pretty quickly. And now we have 1 cup of old-fashioned grits, just stone ground grits. And after our bacon grease heats up a bit, we're going to add that whole 1 cup to our Instant Pot. And we just want to move those around, get them coated in that bacon grease, and just allow them to toast just a bit. Now, you don't have to do this step, you don't. However, to me, having the dry grits toasted just a bit in that bacon grease really adds flavor. So, you know, if you're gonna go to all this trouble to make cheese grits, then you might as well put a little extra effort into it, right? So anytime I get cheese grits at a restaurant, they're a little fancy. And so that's what we're going for here. It's just a little bit fancy pants of grits. Now it's not gonna take them long. Anytime you toast grits like this, it's a lot about cooking with your nose. So once you stop smelling the bacon grease and start smelling the nuttiness of the grits, then you've probably toasted them long enough. But we're gonna let them go just a second more. I'm just gonna spread them out in a layer on the bottom and let them get nice and toasty. And you can even do this to the point that they actually start to turn a little brown if you want to. But just a minute or two, that's all it needs. It really adds a lot of depth of flavor in there. So now that we have let them toast for a bit, I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of butter. And just kind of move that around and let it melt. And this also gives them a little more time to toast. And then we have about 1/4 cup of finely chopped onions that are also going to go in. And then about 1 tablespoon of chopped or minced garlic. Now my house is gonna start smelling good. Onions and garlic and butter. Anytime I smell onions cooking, it just reminds me of home. All right, and we're gonna continue to let that butter, that tablespoon of butter melt in there. And now we want to add in about 2 teaspoons of salt. Grits soak up a lot of salt, so they tend to need just a little bit more. And then about a teaspoon of smoked paprika. This gives it a nice smoky flavor that goes well with the cheese and the grits, and also adds a little color. Wow, it smells so good already. And another good reason to toast these grits like this before you go through the cooking process is whenever you add in your seasonings, it gives it time to kind of meld together and just become all in one. And then you have all of your flavors that have had a chance to kind of get to know one another. All right, so now we are going to add 3 cups of water. Carefully. I'm just going to stir that around. And then 1 cup of half and half. Creamy grits. And just mix that in. Make sure you get everything nice and combined. Then we're going to turn the unit off and then close the lid, seal it or lock it in place, seal the vent, and then set it to pressure cook for 10 minutes, and we're going to walk away. So stay tuned, and we will come back and we will finish up these delicious Instant Pot cheese grits, so don't go away. Okay, we have finished our 10-minute cook time, and I turned the pot off and then let it sit for 10 minutes. The pressure has not all the way naturally released. My pin is still up, so now I'm going to carefully open that vent and release any remaining steam. And since I have the camera right there, I'm going to just place a tea towel right there over it, and then take a long handled spoon and open that vent the rest of the way to release any of that remaining steam. And there's a good bit left in there. So this is why you have to be really careful with this, because if you don't let the pot cool down, a lot of steam can come out, and whenever you're cooking things that have cream or milk in them, sometimes it can make a mess. So a tea towel is always a good idea, but it's an even better idea to use a long-handled spoon to open it with. And I'm just using my whisk. And it'll take it a second to release all that steam, but I'm going to leave it off so hopefully you can see and hear that pin. There we go, the pin just dropped. So I'm going to wait until all that condensation continues to come out before I open the lid. You still, even though you release the steam in it, you still want to be very careful opening this lid, especially whenever you're doing like high volume cooking or cooking with a lot of liquid. In this case, we had 4 cups of liquid in here. So it's always just better to err on the side of caution. And there we go. And that lid has a lot of condensation in it as well. So we want to be very careful. All right, so I'm just going to stir these guys. And look, they have cooked up all nice and creamy. No lumps, no burning on the bottom. So I always have had trouble with rice and grits. Danny has always been the rice and grit cooker in this house because haven't had really good luck with them on the stovetop. I'm too impatient, I think. So we're just going to add about another tablespoon of butter in there just to make them glossy and shiny and pretty. And before I add the cheese, I want to just taste them. So I just dip my spoon in there. Let me get them cooled. Because if they need a little salt at this point, you can add it now. So, and they do. They need just a tad bit more salt. Not much, maybe half a teaspoon. So we're going to put that salt in and stir it up. And y'all, they're cooked perfectly. All right. Now, I have probably about 1.5 cups of cheese, and I like using a combination of cheddar and mozzarella. Feel free to use 1 to 2 cups of the cheese of your choice to make them your favorite cheese grits. All right. Now we've got that cheese mixed in, and that just adds to the creaminess and velvety consistency of the cheese grits. Y'all, they are perfect. 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 Every time. So if you don't use your Instant Pot for anything but rice, grits, boiling eggs, and doing fresh frozen peas and butter beans, then it's worth the money every time. Worth the money every time. So I'm going to let these cool a little bit, and then we will be back with you to show you how beautifully they dish up and serve up. So stay with us. All right, y'all, we are back. I have taken those cheese grits and I've put them in a pretty serving dish so that we can transport them out of the house. But I did want to just talk to you for just a minute about some good tips and tricks. So one of the issues with grits is that as they cool, they can kind of thicken even more and sometimes kind of become gelatinous. So you can take a little half and half or some chicken broth and thin them to reheat them. So if you have some left over, you can totally thin them a little bit with a little chicken broth. I like low sodium, or some half and half, and reheat them on top of the stove, and they're fantastic. So let's take a look at how they turned out. Y'all, they are creamy, delicious, and cheesy, cheesy, cheesy. They are the perfect consistency. The grits are cooked all the way through. They're not grainy. They're the perfect form of grits. Let's taste them. Y'all, if you've never had grits before, I challenge you, if you want to make them for the first time, make them like this. Y'all, you can eat these right by themselves, or you can saute some shrimp, and mix it in with them. Perfect. Every single time. Every single time. Trust me, you cook them this way, and you will learn why in the South grits are so popular. So this is our take on some very tasty and savory cheese grits that we made using our Instant Pot. We hope that you will try this recipe and love it as much as we do. It can be found over at our website at thebutteredhome.com for free. You can print this recipe out for free and add some different things to it. Make it your own. That's what we like for you to do here at The Buttered Home. This is just meant to get you started and get you thinking about your food. So we hope that you'll give us a visit over there and that you'll try this and love it as much as we do. Also, if you're not already, make sure you're following us on all of our social channels. We have a really good time and we want you to be a part of that with us. Everywhere The Buttered Home is, we want you there. And as always, if you want all of our videos in one convenient place, head over to YouTube and search for The Buttered Home. And when you find us, hit that subscribe button so that you can be notified when we drop new videos like this one. Y'all, I got big plans for these. I'm sure Big D does too. So I might share them with him. Maybe. Y'all have a wonderful week. And as always, from The Buttered Home to your home, we love y'all. Bye.